Ireland's most famous coastal drive? It doesn't start where you think. It starts at the very top of the map, at Malin Head. The Wild Atlantic Way officially begins at Malin Head on the Arranmore Peninsula in County Donegal, Ireland's northernmost point, and runs roughly 2,500 kilometres south to Kinsale in County Cork Mile Zero. And almost nobody drives it from up here. That's the whole opportunity. You're with Celtic Explorer. Let's get off the main road. Stick around, because later I'm taking you to the one crossing even Donegal locals get wrong. Time it badly, and you'll watch the last boat home leave without you. Stuck on an island for the night. No thanks. Right. The actual trip. Give Donegal 3 days minimum. A commonly recommended minimum itinerary allocates 3 days based around Donegal town to cover Sliabh Liag, Glenveagh and Malin Head at a reasonable pace. 1 day? That's not a visit, that's a drive-through. Base yourself in Donegal town and work outward. Malin Head and the Arranmore Peninsula are up in the far north. Glenveagh National Park sits inland. West of that, Magheroarty and the coast, then down to the sea cliffs at Sliabh Liag. Heads up, opening days and tickets at Glenveagh shift with the season. Check before you travel. Don't trust a script for that. One thing to know before you set the alarm. None of this is motorway. Loads of it is single track with passing places, which means your Maps app will flatter you on the timing. Whatever it promises, add a third on top. Good news on money though. As of publication, there are no toll roads anywhere in Donegal. The tolls tourists hit are on the M50 near Dublin, not out here out west. It's really just fuel you're paying for, and pump prices bounce around, so check before you go. Give the coast a rest for a day and head inland to Glenveagh. Glenveagh National Park covers roughly 16,000 hectares in the Derryveagh Mountains of northwest County Donegal and is one of the largest national parks in Ireland. It's huge, one of the biggest national parks in the country. Mountain, bog, lake, and then this Victorian mansion just plonked in the thick of it. Glenveagh Castle is a castellated Victorian mansion built between 1867 and 1873, standing on the shore of Loch Veigh. It stands at the end of a long glen, right down on the water at Loch Veigh. Here's the catch, you can't drive up to it. Visitors park at the Glenveagh Visitor Centre, and the castle sits roughly 3.5 kilometres along the lakeshore, reached on foot or by a seasonal shuttle bus. You park at the visitor centre. From there, it's about 3.5 kilometres along the shore. Walk it in under an hour, flat the whole way, or grab the seasonal shuttle, a couple of euro as of publication, so check the fare before you travel. My steer, walk one way, ride the other, budget half a day. Glenveagh holds the largest herd of red deer in Ireland, and golden eagles, formerly extinct in the country, were reintroduced to the park from 2001, and keep your eyes up high. This place has Ireland's biggest herd of red deer. Golden eagles too, brought back to these ridges after they'd vanished from the country. One story before you move on. The fella who built this? He cleared the families off the land first. In 1861, the landlord John George Adair carried out the Derryveagh Evictions, clearing 47 families, 244 people in all, from the estate that became Glenveagh. Many were later assisted to emigrate to Australia. In 1861, John George Adair threw out 47 households, over 200 people, homes flattened. A lot of them ended up on a boat to Australia. Locals called him Blackjack. Stand by that lake today and it's gorgeous, but it's an emptied place too. Worth knowing why. Everyone and their granny photographs the Cliffs of Moher, but hardly anyone knows Donegals are more than twice as tall. Sliabh Liag, rises to roughly 600 metres, among the highest sea cliffs in Europe, with the narrow arête known as One Man's Pass near the summit. See that ridge near the top? They call it One Man's Pass. The name's not for show, it really is exactly as wide as it sounds. Now, the parking, this one trips people up. Parking at the Sliabh Liag Ranger Station car park is priced at roughly €10 for 2 hours, or €15 for a half or full day as of publication, with free parking available at the lower visitor centre 4 kilometres from the cliffs. You've basically got two options: park free at the lower visitor centre, or pay to drive up to the ranger station car park, nearer the top. There's a shuttle from there in summer. I won't quote you a fare that'll be wrong by the time you watch this. Just check it on the day. Got a half-day spare? Keep driving west. Driving from Sliabh Liag to Glencolumkill Folk Village takes roughly 20 minutes, with Silver Strand at Malin Head a further 10 minutes beyond that, about 30 minutes total from Sliabh Liag. 20 minutes down the road, you hit Glencolumkill and its Folk Village. Push on another 10 and you're at Silver Strand, over at Malin Head. Tiny beach at the bottom of a big flight of steps, and that's exactly why the coach tours skip it. Quick one on why Donegal's suddenly all over your feed. In September 2025, Let Turkenny hosted TBEX, a big travel blogging conference, and more than 400 creators were shown around County Donegal. Donegal County Council followed with a tourism campaign called Unrushed, Unspoiled Donegal. That's why it's suddenly on every feed. Beat the crowd and go now, when Sliabh Liag gets rammed, and in July, trust me, it does, head offshore instead. 2 islands, 2 completely different afternoons. Arranmore's the easy one. Ferries to Arranmore run from Magheroarty port with a crossing time of around 15 minutes, about 15 minutes out of Magheroarty port, and you've landed. Pubs, walking loops, a proper lived-in place you can do between lunch and dinner. Tory's the wild one. Ferries to Tory Island run from Magheroarty with a crossing time of around 45 minutes. You sail from Magheroarty and you're the best part of an hour out to sea, far enough that it feels like a different country. This is the one you build a whole day around. And that brings me back to that crossing I promised you. Magheroarty pier is tidal, meaning Tory Island ferry sailing times can be rescheduled or cancelled depending on tide conditions. Independent of the printed timetable, Magheroarty is a tidal pier. So that printed timetable, it's not the boss. The tide is. Sailings shift or vanish with the water, and that doesn't always reach the schedule you screenshotted last week. The locals know this cold. Right up until the week, the tide table flips and catches them out too. Do yourself a favour, check the operator's own app the morning you sail, not the night before, and have a plan B for the afternoon, in case the boat sits tight. Okay, the numbers everyone asks me about. And I'm hedging these because everyone can move. As of publication, an adult foot passenger return ferry fare to Arranmore is around €15. Tory Island is noticeably more, roughly €26 to €28. A walk-on return to Arranmore is about €15. Tory will cost you more, somewhere around 26 to 28. Both operators sell online. And honestly, their own site or app is the only price worth trusting on the day. One last story. Up around Air Ichagul, there's a valley called the Poisoned Glen. Lovely in a photo, grim out loud. The English name Poisoned Glen is widely attributed to a translation error. An Ordnance Survey mapmaker rendering the Irish Glaon Nav E, Heavenly Glen, as Glaon Niv E, Poisoned Glen, the two words differing by a single letter. Most people blame a mapmaker who turned Heavenly Glen into Poisoned Glen with one wrong letter. Ask locally though, and you might get the darker version. The one about the giant Bachelor and his poisoned eye. Donegal never settles for one story when 2 will do. That's the road for today. If it saved you a wrong turn, you know what to do. Slán, or as they say up north, haste ye back.